Hi everyone, Wu O'Reilly, Office of Water in the ACT Government. I will keep my slides very brief. I've told 3 slides, I was trying to be good. Just wanted to give you a quick overview of what we've been doing in the Office of Water branch in the last 12 months. So a big part of the, particularly the water policy area, has been about coordination across the network. Some of the stuff Andy's already alluded to, like the Water Trust Australia. I mean, that's to me, I learned a bit about that's actually funded by philanthropists, and it's an independent facilitation role for the SWEOID work that Andy's been heavily involved in. So I think that's a really interesting step forward, that it's so hard to get an independent voice to have the capacity to do that kind of work. So I think that's a really interesting development, and the ACT government's obviously very interested in being on board with that. The regional coordination group has done a bunch of reforms over the past 12 months. Tim was talking about having more ACT government people on our thing. They actually got less ACT government people on there now. They did away with people like health and TCCS. There's now an intergovernmental group that sort of is slotting in to fill that void, but it was trying to refocus the membership to have a more even spread across the ACT and New South Wales representation. And so that's been one of the areas, and trying to come together and advocate for particular key issues like the flows work. The catchment strategy is also being revised at the moment, and Rinzin in the Office of Water has helped to facilitate that. And Andy and I are on the working group for that one. And if anyone is interested in knowing more about it, please contact Andy or I, and we will happily, I'll keep you up to date. We'll keep you up to date with any changes, but if you want to know more about it, just talk to us. And intergovernmental engagements like native fish recovery strategy, basin plan reviews are all areas that the water policy area have been heavily involved in over the past 12 months. Modelling, research and planning is another very big area. Investment, as Glenys was referring to earlier, where we've done a lot of work with the University of Canberra, as well as a couple of other research bodies, trying to understand a lot about nutrient sources over the past 12 months and beyond. This is feeding into the work into the Healthy Waterways plans, particularly for Lake Tuggeranong right now, but we're about to move on to the Lake Burley Griffin plan, and we've got one for the Yerrabee Pond, which I know seems like a bit of a different level, but very different issues. And so Yerrabee Pond and Lake Burley Griffin will be our focus over the next 12 months. But we have understood a lot, so we've learnt a lot about where the different types of phosphorus are coming from in the catchment. Particularly, one of the interesting findings have been that native street tree leaves are actually a key contributor to phosphorus inputs. We often talk about, the big deciduous, leafy inner suburbs as being the culprits, and they certainly do contribute, but they're very good at absorbing the phosphorus before they drop their leaves. They're adapted to high phosphorus soils overseas, whereas our guys, for some reason, just spit the phosphorus out through their leaves. Particular species of eucalypts have really high levels of phosphorus and are really big contributors. So we're doing work with TCCS, looking at street sweeping, particularly over Lake Tuggeranong, to try and see if we can actually get quite a significant amount of phosphorus off in the organic material that comes onto roads. And really those roads and sumps and stormwater drains, impervious stormwater drains, are really just highways for phosphorus. And so we are looking at those as a significant area for the work and for intervention, hopefully to help address the issues of blue-green algae in Lake Tuggeranong. That evidence-based work has been really underpinning a lot of this work. It's been really interesting. And hydrological modelling has been really key as well. There's been a lot of work around vulnerability assessments on climate change. Baiwa Fu working with Dansel Stars has done some amazing work doing a vulnerability assessment across the whole of the Upper Murrumbidgee catchment. And one of the findings coming out of that was a significant risk to water resources, especially in reductions of riffle flows and base flows over time, was identified. Her work has been really quite groundbreaking, and I believe you'll be able to see more about that. And if you do want to find out more about it, I'll talk to me and I'll find out how we can communicate that. And just finally, last slide, just a program implementation. So we've got a lot of intergovernmental reforms, we've got a lot of modelling research, and we've got a lot of doing as well. We're doing a lot of work around this Upper Murrumbidgee work coming out of the POCOC funding, as we kind of shortcutly call it. Shortcutly, is that a word? Yeah, so that's in the planning phases, and Antia is heavily involved in that work. And we're also, some of the outcomes from the Spring Station, the Nace-Gudgeonby plan, we're going to be doing some more mitigation works around erosion on Spring Station Creek. Street sweeping, as I said, we're going to continue that project with TCCS this year and hopefully get some really good findings around significant sources of phosphorus. And we've also been doing some good healthy waterways, water-sensitive urban design. Probably the most well-known over the past 12 months has been naturalising 500 metres of the Tuggeranong Creek. And so that's just as it's finished there, that will all get plants through it and look greener and happier over the next 12 months. But one of the takeaways from water-sensitive urban design, it's great. It creates broader benefits for the community, but it is certainly not the key solution to getting rid of phosphorus. It can only remove part of it, and it's bloody expensive. Best to just not stuff up your water drains, your waterways in the first place, because retrofitting is a nightmare. So, yeah, I'll leave it there.